You know, for safety reasons, we have the acclimatization period, so we practice without pads on. This game is not made to be played without pads on. So we need to adjust, we need to be smart, we have to get our guys to go hard, put their hands where they're supposed to be, put their helmets where they're supposed to be, keep each other safe, keep each other healthy, but at the same time execute the scheme in all three phases. I'd say it was okay. It was a good start, but we have a lot to work on, obviously.
Anybody in particular catch your eye in a positive way?
Shane's coach running around, you know, just great to see him back full speed. I thought the defense did really well, that they moved around really well. But we'll see. We'll see as it gets going. Day one, it's hard to have guys stand out day one.
You've talked about using a lot of running backs. You got such talent and depth there. What's it going to be like as opposed to last year when Taylor was just, you know, such a workhorse and just so reliable and kind of knew exactly what you had?
Even early in the year, we tried to rotate the backs last year. You know, Anthony Wilkerson had a couple games where he was dinged up. But 2 years ago, we played up to 4 backs in a game. And looking at it, I think we'll probably go back to that. Ricky Seals coming off a phenomenal spring, and he's a 4th-year senior. And you know, if he earns the right to play, we're gonna play him. You know, Tyler Gaffney's come back in great shape. Had some nice runs today. You know, and Wilk looks great.
Were you surprised that Gaffney came back, or do you think he kind of had it in the back of his mind?
I think he always knew. He always knew that there was going to be an opportunity for him to come back. I personally thought that he would probably take 2 years before he made that decision. But I think this combination of, you know, and he played well in baseball. He played really well. I think he missed football. You know, he loves football. And when it's all said and done, he's going to play football for pay in the near future.
Kevin Hogan looked he was pretty reserved with us last year, and on the field he looked pretty focused. Has his personality changed on off the field in the room since last year?
He's just more comfortable. He's more comfortable. He feels good. I think running the offense in the off season, you know, the captain's practices with no communication from us, I think forced him to get a good handle on everything that we're doing. He did all the scripts. He decided what they were doing every day. He put it all together and did it all summer. So I think that helped him just have a good comfort level with everything that he's doing, so that when he goes out there and steps in the huddle, he's got a better command of our offense.
When you're allowed to speak with him for the first time, what kind of communication, what did you guys talk about from what he did on the off season, as far as things that maybe he saw or need to work on?
I was really, really vague. I said, how did it go? And I wanted to hear what he had to say. And then I asked him what his top 5 pass ideas were. And he told me those. I'm not telling you guys, but he told me those. And whereas a year ago, I'd ask him for 5, and he would have to kind of think. But after all summer, going through everything that we've got, he's got a comfort level now. And it's now nice to know that I know what those are, and our coaching staff knows what those are. And we'll make sure that we work those in every game plan.
You got more than 5.
Oh, more than 5, but I forced him to only have 5.
Go ahead.
Are you happy with the team's conditioning level as a whole, coming back from summer and seeing these guys again on the field?
I would say for 90% of our team, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, to see Henry Anderson at 295 pounds, heavy as ever been, still be able to run around and be in condition and handle a practice like this where the guys are getting a lot of reps and we're split practice and guys are running around. I think it's great to see our big guys, and they were sweating, but they were moving. And I think Coach Shirley did a phenomenal job. That other 10%, you know, we still have a couple guys that didn't pass the conditioning test. And we've had a standard practice around here. You don't pass the conditioning test, you don't practice. There's no punishment. There's nothing else. It's just that if you can't pass the conditioning test, you're not in shape to play on this football team.
With all the depth at running back, I mean, is there a chance we could see, you know, Wright and Young and Sanders too? I mean, after
absolutely.
Yeah, ideally these guys are all going to be. Can you give a quick takes on those 3 guys, Wright, Sanders, and Young? What they bring?
You know, they're similar stature, but still very, very different. It's hard to specify more than that, just because I don't want to tip my hand for how we might use them.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is they're all really good runners. They all have natural instincts. Now they do some things. Each does something better than the other guys. So we'll try to exemplify that and how we play them. But at the same time, they know the carrot's out there. if they perform well in practice, we'll give them a chance to play in the game for all of them.
People are so curious about Sanders for obvious reasons. Can you give the readers just a snippet of what you're seeing there, what you expect to see?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Hey, he's got to earn the right to get on the field. When he earns the right to get on the field, when he's ready to play, I think he's going to do really, really well.
How hard is it going to be to replace Stephen Taylor's just pass blocking ability in the backfield?
You know, it's been good. We talked about that in the spring, and two guys in particular, Gaffney and Wilkerson, really stepped up. I mean, we saw as good a pass protector as you'll see. And I watched some of the Arizona Cardinals game the other day, and it's the same thing. I mean, just a phenomenal pass protector, quarterback's best friend, offensive line's best friend who can clean things up for him. And those two guys in particular have really taken it seriously and have stepped up so far.
Do you have to challenge those guys and say, like, look, look how good this guy was, and we need that?
Absolutely. I mean, the game boils down to first down production, third down production, and red zone. When you throw the ball on first down, you can't get a sack because you're going to end up punting. Third down, you got to convert. And we have all these great defense coordinators in our conference that are coming after you, so the back has to pick up blitzes. And to get in the red zone, you want to throw touchdown passes. They're going to blitz in the red zone, the back has to pick up the pass pro. So, I mean, those are three vital places that we have to have great pass protection.
As far as the center competition goes, is that something that you're going to have to wait for pads to come on to start to evaluate?
We've started already, because it's a big part of it is mental. So we'll still rotate these guys without pads on, so they can see they can make the calls and still get to where they need to get. Put the pads on, that'll be the big test. But we've already started the evaluation process.
As far as the mental evaluation goes, is there one of those or two of those guys that's done very well in that aspect?
Pretty even right now. Pretty even.
So you've talked about overloading, Kevin Hogan as much as possible, having him take that next step. What does that entail? Is it, making the right checks at the line of scrimmage, being more efficient on third downs?
He's been really, really good. I mean, all last year he was really good at making checks that we gave him. I think we're just going to give him more. It's just going to be more, and it's not that we dumbed it down necessarily for him last year, because they're still pretty complex. But I think now we got to take the training wheels off to a certain degree and make sure that he has a chance to grow. We need him to start to take that next step. And he started the process already, but really continue that process of mastering the offense and really knowing it backwards and forwards.
And that's really what that next step is for a guy who's, 5 games, won the Rose Bowl, 45% efficiency on third down, 100% in the red zone. What is the next step? Just master the offense?
It's mastery. It's going through a week of practice and not having a question for me, and not saying, hey, should this guy do this or should this guy do that? It's getting to that point where he's coming back and saying, you know what, that guy was about two yards short in his route. And knowing everything so well that he's got it all. And we're getting close to that. He's not quite there yet, but that's what we're working towards.
So he's not quite there yet, and he looked pretty darn good last year. How good can he be still? How much room for growth is there?
Up to him. It's up to him.